Keep calm, rise up, baby.
So that's all we can do.
So back.
Hello and welcome back. We are so back. I'm Austin. That's Eddie. We had a great weekend of football, and we got
Well,
another one coming up. I'm just happy to be here. We're a little bit late this week. Um, had some travel issues, and so we're gonna. Normally, it's gonna come out on Tuesday, but
that's
uh,
the goal.
you know, life happens, so we'll see. But we are ready to talk some football. I'm ready to just get into some college football. Let's start with Oklahoma. Actually, sorry. Let's start. You got anything that you would like to talk about before we start? It should
No,
be
I mean I'm ready to just get right into college football. We got I'd like you say a little bit late this week, so we go into what we saw last week, and then we got probably best week of sports of the whole year coming up here this week. So we'll get into that towards the later part of the video.
golly, I'm excited. When I woke up this morning and it was only Wednesday, I was so disappointed. I just wanted it to be
I
Saturday.
know.
So like right now. So
Well, I was supposed to work on Saturday night, but I talked to this guy who I'm working with, and I was like, dude, I'll do anything to have Saturday off, man. So I got to work a double Friday, but I get Saturday off. So, that's a
worth it.
win for
So
me.
worth it.
Totally worth
I
it.
plan on not moving from my couch and drinking a lot of beer. It's gonna be a great night. Pretty excited. All right. Oklahoma,
I'm excited.
Auburn. Oklahoma, Auburn. Number 7, Oklahoma goes into Auburn. Was it at Auburn? I actually don't even know. But I'm trying to find the game here. Jeez, this is just bad
I'm pretty sure it
podcasting
was
on my
in
part.
Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure it was in Oklahoma, but
All right,
if
let's start that over. All right. So we got number 7, Oklahoma versus unranked Auburn. Actually, it was number 11 versus number 22 at this point. But
yeah.
Oklahoma goes out there and wins in a thriller, a real thriller. It's a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it in my mind that was the most fun game to watch of that week. There were a couple other games that I had high hopes for that we'll talk about that didn't really live up to those expectations. This was a great game that Oklahoma's defense looked solid once again with I think I saw a stat that said it was the most sacks they've recorded in a game ever. So defense looked stellar. John Mateer once again continued to look great. I mean, this Oklahoma team looks solid, and I mean, Auburn held they held their own. They didn't win the game. They're unranked, but I think that Auburn is better than we think that they are.
Yeah, I think Auburn's a good team. But on that John Mateer point, did you see the injury news?
I did not.
Undergo hand surgery, will miss some game action. So he's at least out this week.
Okay.
I think is what that means. Saying he could miss up to a month. So that really puts a damper on his Heisman hopes. And it also kind of puts some pressure on this Oklahoma team going into SEC play.
Yeah, for sure. Because I just I got Doris over here. She just pulled up the schedule for me. So I'm looking at the teams that we got to play here. And obviously you got Kent State here coming up October 4th. Off this week. You got nothing this week, so that's good. You're at least giving them a little bit of rest time there. But then you go into Kent State. But then you get the big one, then you get the Red River rivalry with Texas. So that's one where you really want to have John Mateer there. Then you go into South Carolina, and then you go into Ole Miss, then Tennessee, then Alabama. These are tough games coming ahead here. You need Mateer at least back by Ole Miss, I would say for sure.
Yeah, he cannot miss that much game time. He's gotta get back. Oklahoma has a gauntlet of a schedule. They really got introduced to the SEC pretty heavily in these last couple seasons because they had a pretty hard schedule last year as well. Um, but it seems like they're ready to adjust. They're number 11 in the country, moving up to number 7 probably in the poll. Is that must be the ranking that you had?
Yes.
Um, so I mean they're a good football team. So they're adjusting the SEC well. But we'll see how they can do without John Mateer for these next possibly 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I really like the kid too. He's a good QB. So I'm like we've said this before, we're never wishing for injuries on the podcast. Obviously,
So much for injuries.
Oklahoma being a partial, at least, SEC inter conference rival of UGA. We don't want him to be too good, but I do like Mateer. I think he's a solid QB, and I like the way he holds himself. He seems like a team leader. So I just, I hope that he's at least back by that Ole Miss game because I think that has potential to be a great game. Likely we'll miss Texas, but one loss isn't going to destroy your season. And as we've said, Texas doesn't look great. So that game isn't completely out the window just because of how good Oklahoma's defense has been up to this point.
Very true. We will move on to Michigan, Nebraska. I know this is one that you're excited to talk about, so I'm just gonna let you go here.
Yeah, this was one I kind of wanted to just talk about a little bit. It was a close game, but this was an unranked win for Michigan, but I do think that this was a secret ranked win for the Wolverines here because this is a 3-0 Nebraska team. And I mean, Raiola is a good QB. He didn't play amazing against Michigan, but he still threw for 308 yards. I mean, and a couple
Good
touchdowns.
day.
Like, it's a good day. I mean, he wasn't perfect. It wasn't enough to beat the Wolverines, but the rush attack was pretty much non-existent from Nebraska, which pretty much threw that out the window. I think Underwood looked good. Didn't have a ton of passing yards, but I mean, Justice Haynes rushed for about 150. It feels like talking about Michigan is very similar to talking about the Falcons. The QB doesn't really do much, but when you've got a good running game, you're going to lead the rushing attack. But Michigan, they did their job against Nebraska, and now they've moved up to being ranked. Oh, terrible Michigan fan. I think it's 19, 18, somewhere in
19.
there. 19. Yeah.
Um, I I hate to poop on your parade a little bit. That's a little bit of loser talk that you just had right there. Nebraska's a secret ranked win. Come on. I mean, I know they're 3-0. I know they're not a bad team. I get it. Secret ranked win, really? That's some loser talk for a
Look,
team
man, I
that
mean,
was competing for
what
national
do you
championship
want me?
2 years ago.
What do you want me to say about Michigan? Michigan are secret losers. It's secret loser talk because we're secret losers. We're not ranked 19 because we're the 19th best team in the nation. We're ranked 19 because we're the Michigan Wolverines. That's the only reason we're ranked 19.
That's the truest thing you've ever said on this podcast.
I mean, the Michigan team isn't the 19th best team. It's just that we did win the national championship a couple years ago, and we're beating teams that we're supposed to be beating and losing to teams that we should maybe be beating. So that's good enough for the AP poll to throw us up to 19. Nothing's going to happen of it, but we got to win, and we've got a couple games ahead that should be winnable matchups. So we'll see how high Michigan can get before they get pummeled by Ohio State.
I doesn't get more loser talk than that. Let's move on to some big losers. Indiana versus Illinois. Illinois. I thought we were good, man. I thought this was the year we were good.
Well, dude, I
63?
remember
63?
it's terrible.
You guys get paid to play too. What do we do? What? Come on.
It's atrocious. And I mean, I remember last week in the AE poll, we were talking and we wanted Illinois to be up. We threw Illinois at 8 because we were like, they don't deserve to be punished. They haven't done anything wrong. But you were right the whole time. Illinois shouldn't have been there. I mean, that's a team that just doesn't deserve to be top 10 in the country. And that was proven in prime time against an Indiana team that also probably doesn't deserve to be that highly ranked.
Yeah, I mean
But that
Indiana's got a
just shows
cupcake
you how
schedule.
bad of a game that was.
Indiana's
Right.
got a
I mean,
cupcake.
that was their toughie. Like that was one of the toughies. That was one of their tough games, and they won by
Mhm.
53 points. I mean, Mendoza threw for 5 touchdowns. It was like I was watching the game, and it was at one point it was 7-7, and I had the double box, had the Florida game here, and I had the Indiana game here, and I kind of just looked away for what felt like 5 minutes, and I looked back, and it's 28-7, and I'm like, oh, this game's over. Just like it's over, game's over. And it's atrocious football from Illinois. And to use a word from your playbook, inexcusable, really, is what that is from
It
the
really
Illinois
is.
team.
That's an inexcusable loss for Illinois. Um, they are officially bad. They're I mean
Yeah.
they're still ranked number 23 in the country. I still think they're probably a pretty good football team, but that was just an atrocious showing. Um, And so for a team that's looking to kind of make that next step, like be maybe talked about in the teams that could be going to the Big Ten championship, that like middle pack of Big Ten teams. Um, they're trying to kind of break through that, and then they come out and really drop a stinker. Um, so we can move on from that game. A game that again, there seemed to be a game every week that I've wanted both teams to lose. Um, and this is another one of them. Miami, Florida. Miami puts a hurting on Florida. I think everybody in the world probably saw this coming. Florida looks just absolutely terrible. And Billy Napier is, I don't know how he hasn't been fired yet. He he did this last year where they weren't good. They weren't very good. And then they showed some life at the end of the season and they were like, oh, Billy Napier might be a good coach. He's not. He's not. He wasn't when you hired him. He hasn't been, and he will not be. So he should be fired now. If I were a
Right.
Florida fan, I would be calling for his job now. Um, but Carson Beck looks good. I don't really know how to feel about that. I kind of want him to do well. I kind of want him to not do well. I'm a
I'm
bit
not gonna
conflicted to
lie.
be honest.
I want him to be terrible. I wanted him to be atrocious. I won't. I mean, again, I don't want him to be hurt. We don't wish for
True.
injuries here. We don't wish for injuries here. But I didn't want him to be very good because I just don't really see him as a team leader or as a solid product. But he's playing very well. I mean, he's in Heisman contention. Like he is playing to that level of football that he is a Heisman contender. And I think that as of now, I mean, the game Miami, Florida, this game was supposed to be, it was supposed to be at least a little bit close. I think the line got down to 7.5 by game time. So,
Generous.
you know, and Florida was like, there was a second where Florida had the ball and it was 14-7 and they had the ball. And I was like, okay, now this is doable for Florida
Yeah.
until you realize that DJ Lagway is still not playing well, only threw for 130 yards. And Billy Napier is one of the worst offensive play callers in college football right now.
So bad.
This guy came from Clemson and like what are we doing, man? Like what are we doing? It's terrible.
In on the Clemson note, can we have a little talk about Clemson right now?
Sure.
Um, Dabo Sweeney might be the most annoying guy on the face of this earth.
What makes you say that?
Um, the things that he's just been he told them after they're 0-4 or they're 1-3, right? I think they might have won a cupcake. Either way, not very good. And
Or
he's
one
1-3. Okay. So he is out here in press conferences and he said, well, if you fire me, I'll go get another premier job. Who the fuck is hiring Dabo? No, you're not. You're gonna go get a decent job, probably. You might go get Oklahoma State. You who would want you? You've shown that you're not willing to adapt to the transfer portal. And ever since the transfer portal, your teams have been garbage. So what are we even
right.
talking about? And then he goes out and he's like, "Yeah, we're not going to win the national title, but we still have something to compete for and make this season a win." No, it's over. You should pack your bags. Go. It's over.
Right.
This season is a loss. You are a team, you are a coach that has shown that you should be competing for national titles year in, year out. And this team flat out stinks. With a
Yeah,
guy
I
that you
mean,
thought was going to be the Heisman winner, and he stinks. So
yeah, I mean, I have
that's my Dabo Sweeney rant.
I mean, I'm partially I'm not like completely on the most annoying human being in the world. I think that that might be pushing, but I know that you do this podcast with your heart. You work with your heart, and I respect that. And the thing about those statements is that, first of all, I think that it is a very bad look for a coach to ever say, you can't fire me. Even if you do, I'll go get another job. That's a bad look. That's a bad look as a team leader. It's like saying, hey, man, it's like if you're the captain of your ship, you're like, dude, if I sink this ship, I don't care. I'll just go get a new ship. Like, I don't want you driving my boat if that's what you're saying about the boat. And then, secondly, like saying that this season isn't a loss now and you could still take something from the season. Yeah, maybe you can take something to learn for next year. You have already lost.
For a
You
new
were ranked
team
four.
because you're getting fired.
Right. You were ranked four. Your hopes for the year were to win the national championship. You weren't like, well, if we can compete for the ACC, I'll be happy. No, you were supposed to win the national championship. And now you just got absolutely gallywhopped by Syracuse. Like you're not doing anything, man. You're not your only win of the year is against Troy, and you beat Troy by 11.
Yeah, I mean, you're not even beating their Syracuse are the bottom feeders of the SEC. And sorry, ACC. They're never good. So what what are we doing? I mean, let's just get this national nightmare over with and fire Dabo Sweeney so he can stop talking.
He just needs to adapt to this new era of football. Like I don't think like dude, the transfer portal isn't going anywhere. It may change a little bit and get like a little bit adapted, but it's not going anywhere. Like the transfer portal is here to stay. So start taking in transfers and experienced players who know how to play football before they get recruited. It's just silly to me. Silly. Makes no sense.
All right. Do we want to do uh NFL first, or do we want to do like a preview of this week's college football?
Um, yeah, we can do man, I
Feel
don't
like
know.
we're
What
in
do you want
college
to do?
football mode, you know?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this upcoming week. I like that more.
All right. So the first game that we'll talk about is the game close to our hearts. Sanford Stadium, Athens, Georgia. Between the hedges. Georgia. Come on. It's gonna be a big one. 7:30 under the lights. We got light up bracelets going in the stands. We're gonna make it an atmosphere. Dogs by 50.
Dogs by 50, huh? Uh man, lines I think 3 right now, but hey.
I'll take the
You
alternate
know,
line and just cash in.
yeah, I want the red goblin. Give me double that, triple it even. I don't know. I mean, I don't actually do. Obviously, this is two, UGA alumnus here. We're looking to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, and I really do think that Georgia is going to win this game and cover that spread. And the reason why is because I think that Georgia right now, they just survived a close game with the Tennessee Volunteers. Very close. And I think that Kirby with a bye week, trust me, this was no bye week for the players on the University of Georgia. This was probably their hardest week of the year. They were running suicides till they were throwing up their guts. These guys are going to be angry coming into this game. And they're at home. They got to protect the home turf. Alabama, I still don't think has fully found their form yet this year. That loss to FSU put them way behind the eight ball early, and I still just don't fully trust the offense of the Crimson Tide right now. And I also don't trust Kalen DeBoer. Kind of how you feel about Dabo Sweeney is similar to how I feel about DeBoer. I really don't think he's a good coach, but he's getting paid, millions. So what does
So
he
much
care?
money.
What does he think? He doesn't care what I
Release
think
clause
about
is
him.
70 million.
Yeah, he's getting paid millions of dollars. But, anyways, I expect the Dogs to come in here and play the game in their controlled manner and how they play games most of the time. That Tennessee game, they had to switch up the script a little bit because they fell down 14 points early. But I expect this game to be kind of a run heavy defensive. I got Georgia winning this game maybe 24-14, something like that. Got kind of a low score.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think this is the week that my Gunnar Stockton prediction really starts to amp up. I think Gunner's gonna have a good game. Um, He's gonna make the throws. I just I feel a Heisman moment coming from him this week where he has that one throw that just which he already did have one really good throw at the end of that game, but he's got one throw or one run that will live in infamy. Like the Stetson Bennett had a few of those where he just they were crazy plays and whatever. Um, but I see that from Gunnar Stockton this week. Um, the one thing that I'm worried about is what we've seen from the Kellen DeBoer version of Alabama is a team that will play down to its competition, which is something that we're not used to seeing from a Nick Saban Alabama. He treated every week like they were playing Georgia. So, um, I think we've seen this Alabama team that has shown up to games that they think that they're going to win by a lot and be a little bit too relaxed and get caught out. Um, but it's impossible not to get up for this game. You're playing number 5 in the country, Georgia. You beat them last year. You're going into their place. You're gonna be amped up. You're gonna be ready. So I think I'm conflicted. I think it's gonna be tight. I actually I I don't know if Georgia covers this. 3.5, you said?
It's 3
I
right now.
3. So I would take a push here. Because I think it's gonna be like a 21 or actually I guess I would take the points because I think it's gonna be like a 21-17 kind of a low scoring, but like it's I think it's gonna be tight throughout.
Yeah, I expect it to be. I mean, you never know, but I expect this to be the second best game of this week. The best game I expect comes at the same time, but it's gonna be an exciting week. It's just completely up to how the Georgia defense performs on the first drive. I just am excited to see how Alabama comes out the gates, and they're gonna maybe if they are moving the ball downfield the way Tennessee did, this could be big trouble for the Bulldogs. I don't know if they could survive that battle twice. Tennessee was in the position to win that game. Georgia is winning, and they win these games confidently, and they win football games when they're controlling the game. And they had to play a different kind of game that and got lucky. And I hate to say that they got
Oh,
lucky, but they got
100%.
lucky. It was a lucky game that they weren't in control of and got lucky and won. I just it's completely up to whether or not the Georgia defense can be in control of the Alabama offense the way that Florida State was in week 1.
Before we get into this Oregon Penn State game, the actual game itself, why is this game not at noon? Like
I don't
I know
know.
it ended up being a Penn State whiteout, but why is this game not at noon?
I don't know. It's kind of a blow because the noon slate is not that any of the slates are bad, but the noon slate is the weakest of the slates. So it would have been nice to have Oregon Penn State at noon, LSU Ole Miss at 3:30, Georgia Alabama at 7:30. That would be how I would do it, but
Right.
I don't know.
Why is NBC trying to come in for ESPN 7:30 time slot against the biggest SEC game of the week? That's just seems like poor. I mean,
I mean, I have
people are
YouTube
going to be
TV,
watching both, but
so it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna have the double box. Doesn't really affect
right.
me at all. But if you don't got YouTube TV and you got to switch between channels back and forth, that's a pain. I'm sorry for you if you still have cable. Why do you have cable? What are you doing?
What are you doing? All right. So getting into this game, Oregon Penn State, number 3 versus number 6. Um, obviously going to be a real big one. Um, what do you think about this game? Because for me, Oregon hasn't really played anybody. They've they've won all their games very convincingly, but I mean, this is a team for me that's flew under the radar a little bit. I haven't really thought too hard about this Oregon Ducks team.
Well, I've obviously kept my eyes on this Oregon team partially, but almost kind of on the back burner. Every week we put them in our rankings right around where they are now at the AE poll. We got them right around 6, right around there because we know they're good and their defense looks great. They're holding teams to 7 points, 10 points, 3 points. Like defense looks good, but you're not playing anyone worth anything. And your offense is also always going to be good. The Oregon offense is just good. It always has been. But now you're coming into the test. This is the big test. I mean, it's the first big test for you. You're going into the Nittany Lions, who are currently a favorite to win the Big Ten. Not the favorite, but a favorite. You upset Penn State in this game. You now take that throne from them. And you now, the only team that you are really worrying about is Ohio State. I think that this is a huge game with absolutely massive playoff implications on the line.
I think for this game to me is for Penn State where we find out if they can win the national title or not. Because this is a team that has had a lot of expectations. They got a senior quarterback coming back. They're a good team. They're stacked. They really are. They're stacked. Um, and so this is a team that has a lot of expectations. So this you get a night game. It's a whiteout at home. This is a game that Penn State for me has to not necessarily control, but this is a game that they should go out there and take that win. It shouldn't be like we steal a 3-point win from Oregon. Like that they should win this game. Um and I think if they don't, they'll probably still make the playoff and they'll still be all right. But I just don't see them taking that next step in James Franklin winning that big game.
Yeah, and that's been the thing we've talked about all year is pretty much it's like, can Franklin step up and actually get the big one? Because he's kind of like, he's in this team of contenders in, and this is no hate on Franklin. I think that James Franklin's a great coach. I just think that he hasn't quite proven himself in these big games yet that make me believe that this game is going to be one that he controls over the Oregon Ducks. I mean, Dan Lanning is the former defensive coordinator at Georgia, as we know. He's a great coach and he's a great defensive mind. And that scares me because we haven't really seen much out of Drew Aller yet this year that completely makes me believe in this Penn State offense. I mean, they look fine. They're putting up good points, but it's not like he's making miraculous plays because he doesn't have to. So now you're playing a defensive minded coach against a team that is also putting up 40 points a game minimum. Can Penn State beat Oregon here? And I mean, that I would love for Franklin to come in here and beat Oregon by 30 points and shut everybody up and be like, hey, look, Penn State's legit this year. But here's what I think is going to happen is I think it's going to be really close, and I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last. And you could put me down for that. Whoever has the ball with a minute left in the game is probably going to be the one who wins it.
I would agree. I would agree. I just had this thought about Oregon's definitely gonna wear all black. Like they're gonna
It's
wear
going to be a
like
yeah,
with like a highlighter, and then Penn State's gonna be wearing white. That's just gonna be a good like visually. That's gonna be a
atmosphere.
good football game to watch. Um, I just had that thought. And then finally we'll talk about LSU Ole Miss. This is a big one in terms of like finding out who is really good in the SEC because we know the SEC is kind of a scramble right now. There's a lot of teams that we think can be good and have shown that they're good. And I think that now that we're getting into these SEC getting into the SEC schedule, these LSU Notre Dames, these Texas A&M, you got to find out these teams that are kind of generally in the middle. Are they taking that next step this year? Are they going to be that tough out this year? Or are they maybe just going to roll over? And I think that LSU is a very good team. I think that I think they're going to shit pump Ole Miss, to be honest with you.
Hey man, I this one's got me torn because I think that this game is it's supposed to be the weirdly high-powered Ole Miss offense that's putting up 40 points per game against what is supposed to be the Heisman favorite and another high-powered LSU offense. But What we're actually looking at here is whether or not the LSU defense can just hold off Ole Miss. Because here's what's going to happen: LSU is going to score 20 to 24 points. If Ole Miss scores any more than that, they will beat LSU. That's what I think. And in my opinion, I don't think that'll happen. But Ole Miss's offense hasn't been slowed down yet. However, they haven't really played anyone of serious significance. We'll see. I got LSU in this game, but we'll see.
I have LSU as well. Let's move on to the NFL, the league. We're gonna start off with an Eddie's Falcon minute.
Okay. All right, guys. How are we? I've had a rough week here. It was disastrous what happened in Charlotte this week. I'm on the the brink of tears here, guys. I don't know. I can't tell you what happened, but here's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna try to keep this nice and actually short. Something has to change in Atlanta. 30-0 to the Panthers. The one thing I will say is that the Panthers are not a 30-point better team than the Falcons. I do think that this was a bit of a fluke, and obviously you're going to call me a Falcons homer for saying that, but the Falcons played the worst football I've seen them play in the past 2 years, and the Panthers played the best football I've seen them play since I mean, yeah, and since I can probably remember. They looked good when they played the Falcons last year, but that was about it. I mean, it's a disaster. Um, the offense looked stagnant in the red zone again. Shocker. I've said that the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Defense actually wasn't as bad as it looked. I know it's 30 points, but we did give up a pick six. And at that point, it was 17-0. The game was already over. We didn't have AJ Terrell. All I could say here, guys, is we got the Commanders coming up this week, and this is a must-win game for the Falcons. Line is currently 1.5 in favor of Washington. I'd love to see a cover there, or I mean, not even a cover. I'd love to see a win there, but it's make or break for Atlanta. That was a bad game, and I will say that was Bryce Young looked really good. And I have never been a Bryce Young hater, and I never will be because I do think that he is a solid QB. A little bit small, but still a good QB.
Yeah, I mean, just a real tough week for the Falcons. I think we're finding out that this team that we had some expectations for. We thought maybe this was a year that we could go out there and compete. Um, I think they're just not very good, unfortunately.
I'm not there yet.
Um,
I'm not there yet, but we'll see. We'll
that's
see.
okay. I'll let you take all the time that you need to figure out that the Falcons are not very good.
Thank you.
Um, but we're gonna move on. Uh,
Good
we
call.
have
That will also be the last I talk about the Falcons for the week. So if you're looking for Falcons talk, tune out because I'm not going back. That's all I'm doing.
um we got Lions, Ravens. Lions beat the Ravens in a big AFC matchup, similar to a matchup that we had this past week as well. Another AFC matchup, AFC East matchup. But we had the Lions beating the Ravens. Derrick Henry, Fumble City. What do you think?
Man, I mean, you know what? I said I wasn't going to talk about the Falcons, but I'm going to do it one more time. The Ravens are 1-2, okay? And the Falcons are also 1-2. So,
Two very different 1 and 2 teams.
yes, true. But hey, I'm just saying. Sorry, I just got a phone call. That was why I stopped talking. But um, I think that the um, Ravens played a good football game offensively again. I mean, once again, this loss is not on Lamar. We're talking Lamar throwing 300 yards, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's a solid game from Lamar. It's just the Ravens defense once again just can't hold the team to less than 30 points. So you just need your defense to start playing football and then you're in. But big bounce back for the Lions because this team looked terrible against Green Bay. Then they come back and they pummel the Bears as we knew they would. But now beating the Ravens is like, okay, you guys are still Super Bowl contenders. You just had a bad week, you know?
Yeah, I mean this was a big win for the Lions. I think they really needed it. They needed that momentum going into kind of the rest of the season. You get over these first few games and then get into the rest of the season and kind of flush that loss away. Um we'll talk about another team that's 1-2 that's maybe good. Uh Bears. Bears beat the Cowboys 31-14. Really killed the Cowboys. I mean, the
A
Cowboys are
spanking.
absolute doo-doo. They stink.
Well,
Um,
yep.
but Caleb Williams looked very good, I thought. Um, and you know, maybe things are looking up in Chicago.
Hey, man. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the Bears are good, but I will tell you one thing: the Cowboys are bad. And that was shown big time. I mean, they lost CeeDee Lamb, man, and the whole offense didn't even know what to do. I think that's a big testament to CeeDee Lamb. That offense is exponentially worse without him. And their defense has already, we knew it was terrible. They gave up 40 points to the Giants. We knew their defense was bad.
So shot of the Giants there.
I mean, I wanted the Giants to beat the Chiefs, but we knew that wasn't going to happen either. So, but yeah.
Um, yeah, I Caleb Williams gets 4 touchdowns. Ben Johnson gets his first win as an NFL head coach. Kind of gets the monkey off their back to kind of really get into the season and maybe compete. Um, they're in a tough division. Obviously, they're not going to win the division, but maybe try to compete for one of those wild card spots. I think it's an interesting season ahead for the Bears and Caleb Williams because all the pieces are there. Um, they they can be that good team. They just need the quarterback. And if the quarterback shows up and the play calling's good, they're gonna be a team to watch. Let's move on to the Browns versus the Packers. The Browns take down the Packers, who we thought were really, really awesome and could never be beat. Um, I maybe that was just me. The Browns come back in the fourth quarter, score all 13 points in the fourth quarter, and win on an Andre Smith. Smith, is that how you say his name?
That's how I would say it.
Maybe it's Schmidt, but just like spelled weird. Anyways, 55-yard field goal. The Browns, who we know are also not very good, take down the Packers.
Look, man, I mean, there was some weird stuff going on in the NFL this week. The Jets almost beat the Buccaneers. The Eagles almost lost. There was some weird stuff going on this week. Of course, the Rams are actually pretty good, but still, Eagles almost lost. And then we had this, which was just the icing on the cake of weirdness. Like the Browns scored 13 points in 4 minutes to beat the Green Bay Packers. Like, what are we talking about? I mean, we had Jordan Love made a huge error with an interception with just over 3 minutes left. They almost gave the game to the Cleveland Browns, and it's like I'm not putting this game on the on not Cleveland on the Green Bay defense. The Green Bay defense held this team essentially to zero, other than field goals. It's just that they had a pick six that put them down to like the 1 yard line. Then they just punched it in, and now we're tied at 10. Green Bay's getting the ball back. Offense can't do anything. They give it back to Cleveland, completely put the game in the hands of the Cleveland Browns, and they're obviously going to finish that. I mean, that's a heck of a comeback, and I'm very happy for the city of Cleveland there. That's a big win for them.
It was also a big weekend for a part of the game that I know that I love and we love on this podcast.
Special
Special
teams.
teams. Um, the Eagles and the Bucks. No, sorry, the Eagles and the Jets, both with field goal blocks returned for a touchdown, which is pretty sweet. Former dog
I was gonna
Jordan
say,
Davis gets the motor going. Just shows the burst of speed for a big guy. That was awesome. The Jets still find a way to lose. That guy probably should have gone down at the 1 yard line and taking some time off the clock. Maybe they just gave Baker way too much time, and everybody in the entire stadium knew that the Bucks were gonna just drive down the field and kick a field goal. Like it was, there was no way that the Jets were gonna win that game. Um, but yeah, big weekend for special teams. I love special teams.
Yeah, we're a special teams podcast. Special teams is so back. We've been saying that. So, I'm I was gonna ask you if you saw that though. Yeah, Jordan Davis absolutely rumbling downfield. It was kind of a garbage touchdown because the block kick was enough to seal it. But hey, I like seeing the big man run. Let's do it. So
All right. Well, that is our NFL talk for the week. Let's move in to the AE top 10. NCAA football. Let's go. I'm pulling up the rankings right now just to see what we're doing here. All
Doris,
right.
Doris, pull up those rankings for me. Thank you.
I love that you got yourself a new assistant. This is good. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
she's an intern. She's trying her best.
All right. At number one, we're gonna keep Ohio State.
Yep.
I think that's pretty. At number two, this is where we're gonna start to, at least personally, I'm gonna start to disagree with the AP poll. Um, I want to keep Penn State at two.
See, I'm on the fence here because it's kind of unfortunate that we're doing this now to where I can just look at the rankings because I would have petitioned to put Miami at two without seeing that they had already done that. But now looking that they've already done that, I don't like agreeing with them. So I want to put Penn State back at two now. I wanted Miami there, but now I want Penn State back at two. So
I just don't think Florida's that good of a win. Like to put you up
yeah,
two spots. I think Florida's
true.
terrible. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Okay, so we'll do Penn State, and then we'll give them one spot bump. We'll put
Yeah.
Miami at three, I think.
I like that.
All right. Um, LSU stays at four.
See, I mean, yeah, probably. They probably should, right? But I'm not going to do it.
Okay. What do we got?
I think that I think that even on I think I know they had a bye week, but I want Georgia.
In a
I want
bye week
Georgia.
where LSU wins, where they're losing spots.
Dude, I just don't. I just don't. I'm not. I'm no longer. I don't know why, but I'm no longer. Well, you know what? Whatever. Let's just keep LSU at four. Whatever. I don't really feel
Oh, I
like.
think
I
it's
feel like it.
hilarious. No, we're putting Georgia at four. No, we're doing it.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I mean, I just think that
No, that's
Georgia's
hilarious.
I think that LSU doesn't really look amazing. And I know that LSU just won 56 to 10. So you guys are like, what is this guy talking about? But I don't think they look I just don't think they look great. We'll see. I mean, they come into, they go into Ole Miss and they show them up. Maybe I put them back up there. It's not like my rankings matter anyways.
No, they don't pass the eye test. I get it. All right, LSU at five. We're at least gonna do them that.
Yeah,
Um, I would like to put Oklahoma there at six.
I agree.
What do you think
I think
about
that
that?
I think that Oklahoma deserves that right now. Oregon beats Penn State this week or keeps it to, a one score game, then we talk. But as of now, I think Oklahoma is proven and Oregon is unproven. So I think that has to be Oklahoma there. We've seen them beat teams that are pretty good. So I like Oklahoma at six.
All right, and then Oregon at seven.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now here's where it gets tricky
Yep.
because I like these last three slots. I think are kind of up for grabs. I think Texas A&M deserves to stay in. I think um ooh, who do I want? I think Tennessee actually deserves to be in.
Yeah.
I think they're a better 3-1 than Texas is.
Wait, you want to put Tennessee in the top 10? Jeez,
Yeah.
man. Oh, man, I don't know about that. I'd like to have Ole Miss over Tennessee.
Okay. I don't hate that. And just because they beat them so bad, I feel like Indiana deserves to be in.
Maybe. But I mean, so wait, okay. So you've got Florida State, right? You think that Florida State should be 8?
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced with Florida State, to be
I'm
honest
not
with you.
I'm not fully convinced either. So let's for now, let's just this is hard. Because I want to just say let's just throw A&M at 8, but
I don't hate that.
I don't know. I guess I feel like that's safe. I feel like that's
Yeah,
safe. Throw
A&M at 8, and then what do you think about Indiana at
9.
9?
We could do Indiana at 9, and then I'll let you decide, but I like either Ole Miss or Indiana or not, either Ole Miss or Tennessee at 10. I don't want Texas there. I don't think Texas deserves to be there. And
See, this
I
is
don't know.
tough. I think this week we're gonna put I think we should put Ole Miss there. I think you're right. I think Tennessee comes in at 11 though. I will say that. Um,
Okay.
but I think after this week we'll see some movement in our top 10. We'll see who's really good, who might just really be good and they lost still, who kicked the shit out of somebody. Um, Alabama might sneak up, you know. They beat Georgia convincingly, they're
I
gonna
hope not, but that could
I hope
happen.
not as well. I don't want to put that juju out there, but I'm just saying. Um,
Well, I
so
mean,
this is
Ole Miss goes
this
in.
is an A top 10 that I think will be very different next week.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's just so many big matchups coming in right now that if Penn State goes in there and beats Oregon by like 20 points, Oregon's probably not in my top 10, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. All right, let's move on to our NFL pick of the week. This week we are going to do the current MVP. Who do we think after 3 weeks is the MVP of the National Football League? Edison.
Well, out of fun, I think that my fun pick for the MVP right now, just because of what he's doing in his games, would be Baker, because I think he's in such control of football right now. But my unfun pick that is pretty serious and is probably who it would be right now is probably Josh Allen, just because he looks the same as he did last year, if not unbelievably, he's improved from last year. So uh, if we see more of the same, though, that's going to be close. I mean, Baker's stats are no joke right now. And I mean, Egbuka's up there for rookie of the year, too. Just saying.
Yeah, Abuka should. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, he should win it. Um, I actually think I am gonna go with Baker.
Okay.
Um, no, I'm not actually. I'm not because
Okay.
if the Bills, I think the Bills are gonna be the number one seed, and if the Bills are the number one seed, Josh Allen's their best player. Like Josh Allen leads them to the number one seed. There's just unless Tampa Bay leads them to a number one seed, which I don't see happening. But
They're undefeated.
I know. Um, you know what? Fuck it. Baker. Give me Baker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun pick, and he looks good right now, man. He looks real good. I mean, he looks like this is like a prime Aaron Rodgers type looking guy, and that's an unbelievable comparison. But in the sense of you give him the ball and your team is down 3 and you have a minute left, I'm like, they won. I mean, they won the game. He's gonna go right downfield.
Yes, he's a stone cold killer. Um, that is gonna do it for So Back this week. We will be so back at the normal time, normal day, next week after an absolutely unbelievable weekend that it is to be of college football. I'm really excited.
I am
We'll see you
too.
next
I
week.
can't when I hold on. I just can't wait for the Falcons to be back at 500. Let me just say that.
Okay. All right. I hope that for you. I'm praying for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. This has been So Back. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.